Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. So, my sincere gratitude to ISKCON Baltimore, especially Pradyumna Prabhu, for giving me this opportunity to speak few words in glorification of Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj, whose Tirobhav Tithi we are celebrating today. Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj is a very important acharya in our sampradaya. There are two types of pure devotees, Bhajananandis and Goshtanandis. Bhajananandis are those pure devotees who are engaged in bhajan, in chanting and hearing about Radha and Krishna day and night. Bhajananandis. They are 24 hours day and night engaged in bhajan. And Goshtanandis are those pure devotees. They also do bhajan, but they also preach. They go out and they preach. Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj was a Bhajananandi Paramhamsa Acharya in our sampradaya. Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and our founder Acharya, His Divine Grace Abhay Charanarvind Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada, they were Goshtanandis. They were preachers, bold preachers. They would travel and preach and get into arguments with atheists and smash them, defeat Mayavadis. So those are Goshtanandis. But Bhajananandis, their mood is they operate on the platform of pure devotees. They see Krishna everywhere. They cannot see faults in anybody. They see everybody is engaged in the service of Radha and Krishna based on their level of realization and understanding. So why tell anybody anything? Let everybody do what they want. Ultimately, Krishna is everywhere. Krishna is the best friend of everyone. So there is no problem. Everything is fine. Let me do bhajan. They see everyone engaged in the service of Krishna according to their own levels of realization, except themselves. They feel they are not devotees. So they are always feeling separation from Radha and Krishna. They are always crying and they are doing more and more bhajan out of extreme humility. So these are the Babajis. These are the Bhajananandi Babas. And Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj was one such Paramhamsa Mahabhagavat Acharya in our sampradaya. He is especially very, very important because Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj, he infused all his mercy, all his empowerment in Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Prabhupada, who is Jagat Guru, who is the spiritual master of our founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada. Once our founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada was asked, Prabhupada, what is the contribution of Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj? He didn't write any books, he didn't build any temples, he didn't really go out and preach, he didn't establish any mutt. What is the contribution of Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj? And immediately Srila Prabhupada, our Prabhupada, immediately he responded, the contribution of Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj to this world is Om Vishnupad Paramhams Parivrajaka Shtottar Shata Shri Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada. He said, my Guru Maharaj is the gift to this world by Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj. So therefore, we must understand that the Goshtanandis, the preachers, are very important. We all can recognize that. But even the Bhajananandi devotees, like Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj, Srila Vamshi Das Babaji Maharaj, Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj, they are also very, very important, my dear friends. Very, very important. They play a crucial role because they empower us. They bless us. And by their blessings, by their empowerment, our whole Krishna consciousness movement is spreading. So Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj, his pranam mantra is Namo Gaur Kishoraya Sakshad Vairagya Murtaye Vipralambha Rasambodhe Padambujayate Namaha. Namo Gaur Kishoraya. I offer my obeisances to Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj. Namo Gaur Kishoraya Sakshad Vairagya Murtaye. He is the personification of Vairagya. And we have discussed there is a difference between Tyag and Vairagya. Tyag means to know that something is very tempting, something is very enjoyable, but oh, it is bhakti pratikul, it is against the principles of Krishna consciousness, therefore I have to give it up. I want to enjoy this, but it's Ekadashi today. I cannot enjoy whatever the sweet item is. Mohan Thal, what did you make? Mohan Thal. It is Ekadashi friendly? No. So if we want to eat Mohan Thal, but it is not Ekadashi friendly because it may have wheat. Yes. It may have wheat in it. So we cannot eat. So that is Tyag. I want to eat Mohan Thal, but Durdaiva, it has wheat. I cannot eat on Ekadashi. So I will not eat. That is called Tyag. The taste is there to enjoy. But because it is against principles of Krishna consciousness, I will not do it. That is Tyag. And that is glorious. But even more glorious than that is Vairagya. Vairagya means not to see that thing as something to be enjoyed at all. Whether it is Ekadashi or Dwadashi or Trayadashi, doesn't matter. One doesn't feel like gratifying one's tongue with Mohan Thal. That is Vairagya. And that is what Mahaprabhu came to give. Vairagya Vidya Nija Bhakti Yoga Shikshartham Eka Purusha Purana Shri Krishna Chaitanya Sharira Dhari Kripam Budhiryastamaham Prapadde. Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to teach Vairagya Bhakti. Bhakti along with Vairagya. Higher taste, and therefore we don't have lower taste. That is Vairagya. So Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj is the personification of Vairagya. Namo Gaur Kishoraya Sakshad Vairagya Murtaye. He is the personification of Vairagya. Vipralambha Rasam Bodhe. And he's always immersed in the oceanic rasa of Vipralambha. Because this Vipralambha Prem is the highest conception of love, where we are feeling intense separation from Krishna. Vipralambha Rasam Bodhe Padam Bujhayate Namaha. Pada means his lotus feet, Ambuja means lotus. So Padambuja means his lotus feet. Ambuja means lotus. Padambujaya te namaha. I offer my respects at the lotus feet of Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj, who is the personification of Vairagya, real renunciation, Yukta Vairagya. And he is always immersed in the nectarian ocean of Vipralambha Seva, service and separation, which is the highest service. So Paramhamsa Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj, dear devotees, he appeared somewhere in the middle of the, or little before the middle of the 19th century, which means around 1840, 1845, that time period. We don't know his exact birth year, but he appeared in Faridpur district in Bangladesh, which is the East Bengal. He appeared on the banks of the holy river Padma. All of you will remember Padma river. That is where Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, after telling Sri Nityananda Prabhu, he deposited his prem, Gaura prem, Krishna prem in that Padma river. And later on Narottam Das Thakur came and took his bath there and became completely infused with Gaura prem, Gaura Shakti. So that Padma river, on the bank of that holy Padma river, Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj took his birth. His birth name was Vamshidas. Not to be confused with Vamshidas Babaji Maharaj. He was a friend of Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj, but completely different personality. So the Grahastha ashram name, the birth name of Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj was Vamshidas. The name of his parents is not known. Srila Vamshidas Babaji Maharaj's, Srila Vamshidas's parents, means Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj's parents, got him married at a very early age, as was the custom in those in those times. He was married to a very nice Vaishnavi girl. Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj belonged to the family of Vaishyas. They were agriculturists. They were farmers in Bangladesh. So he was married to a very nice devotee girl, but soon after marriage, his wife died. Before Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj and his wife could have any children, soon after marriage, somehow because of disease, some sickness, Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj's young wife died. After his wife died, he had no family responsibilities left. So immediately Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj, who from his childhood had grown up in Gauda Desh, hearing Chaitanya Charitamrita, hearing the bhajans of Srila Narottam Das Thakur, hearing Prem Bhakti Chandrika and Prarthana. You see, my dear friends, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he established Krishna consciousness. And then he empowered his followers to preach. So Srila Narottam Das Thakur, Srila Shyamananda Pandit and Srila Srinivas Acharya, they traveled throughout Utkal and Gauda Desh, throughout Orissa, West Bengal and Bangladesh. They traveled, these three acharyas, and they preached in the local language, in Oriya and Bengali. Srila Shyamananda Pandit specifically preached in the Oriyan language. And Srila Narottam Das Thakur and Srila Srinivas Acharya, they preached in the Bengali language. So in the couple of centuries ago, in those remote villages of Bengal and Orissa, people may not have Chaitanya Charitamrita and Chaitanya Bhagavat, because that was printed later on by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur and Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So what did people have? What was the Shastra that saved them? It was the bhajans of Srila Narottam Das Thakur. It was Prem Bhakti Chandrika and Prarthana. Even in the remote villages, they would keep singing these bhajans, because all the essence of the Vedic literature is there in these bhajans. So Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj grew up hearing the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya and singing the bhajans written by Srila Narottam Das Thakur. He was completely imbued in that mood of Srila Narottam Das Thakur. When his wife died, Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj gave up family life and he walked from Faridpur district of Bangladesh all the way to Shri Vrindavan Dham, because in the songs of Narottam Das Thakur he had heard about Vrindavan. Vrindavana Ramya Sthana Dibya Chintamani Dhama Ratana Mandira Manohara. He had heard all this, and therefore he wanted to go to Vrindavan Dham. So our Vamshidas, he is a widower. He has just lost his wife. He comes to Shri Vrindavan Dham and he takes Diksha. He takes initiation from Bhagwat Das Babaji Maharaj, a Siddha Baba living in Sridham Vrindavan, who is a disciple of Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj. So that's how our parampara comes. Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj, his disciple was Srila Bhagwat Das Babaji Maharaj, and Bhagwat Das Babaji Maharaj's Diksha disciple was Sri Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj. So Bhagwat Das Babaji Maharaj gave Babaji Bhesh Diksha to Vamshidas and gave him the name Gaur Kishore Das Babaji, Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj. So gave him Babaji Bhesh, which means he has to wear kopin. It is just 2 strips of cloth to cover the genitals, kopin, and on top of that there is a small piece of cloth, almost like a towel, that you wrap around your lower body below your waist, and it extends above the knees. Our dhoti is very luxurious. It goes all the way down to our ankles. Very nice and warm and comfortable, looks also good. But the Babajis, they simply wrap around a small piece of torn, used, discarded cloth, a cloth that was discarded at the ghats by the Brajbasis. He took that cloth, washed it in Yamuna water and wrapped it around over his kopin. Only 2 pieces of cloth he had. That is Babaji. Another rule for Babajis is you cannot accept more than a little handful madhukari from one house. To eat, you have to do madhukari only once a day. So only 1 meal in a day. Babaji means only 1 meal in a day. And that also you have to do madhukari. Not that you cook a nice feast and eat a big chappan bhog once a day. No. You go to not more than 4 houses. A sannyasi is allowed to beg in 7 homes. Because some houses may say, no, we don't have anything. They may turn you away. But a Babaji is supposed to beg only in 4 houses. If they don't give, you fast. If they give, you take only a handful, not a lot. So you cannot take roti and sabji from one house. No. You can only take 1 roti from one house. Then you go to the next house. If they say nothing, or go to the 3rd house. They give little bit sabji, you take that. You go to the 4th house, they say, today we don't have anything, Babaji. Radhe Sham, please forgive us. Then you go. Then that whole day, all you have is 1 roti and little vegetable. That is called madhukari. Like madhu, like a honeybee, goes to one flower, sucks little honey, goes to the next flower, sucks little honey, goes to the 3rd flower. Not that you sit in one flower and suck all the honey that the flower has to offer. That is not the nature of a madhu, not the nature of a honeybee. So you go to 4 houses, not more than 4 houses. Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj became a Babaji. He stayed under trees in the mood of the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan. Kujat kokilaham sasara sagana kirne mayura kule nana ratna nibaddha mula vitapa Shri Yukta Vrindavane Radha Krishna Maharanisham Prabhajatau Jivharthadau Yaumuda Vande Rupa Sanatanau Raghuyugau Shri Jiva Gopalakau. Vrindavan is a beautiful place. There are cuckoo birds and peacocks everywhere and parrots. Each tree is Kalpavriksha tree. But so as not to get attached to one tree, because you sleep under one tree every night, and then one evening you find another Babaji has come and slept under your tree, you'll start fighting. Hey, that is my tree. So because they have to be completely nirapeksha, not expecting anything and not attached to anything, no sense of false proprietorship, they sleep under different trees every night. So Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj would sleep under different tree every night in Vrindavan. And specifically, he would sleep under the trees at and around Giriraj Govardhan. Giriraj Maharaj ki jai. Giriraj Govardhan, Nandagaon, Barsana, Radhakund, Shamkund, Raval, and Gokul Mahavan. These were the specific places where our Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj would stay, sleep every night under different trees. Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj would chant at least 128 rounds of Hare Krishna Mahamantra every day, at least 2 lakh. So that is how we have 16 rounds minimum for Babaji Bhej. The minimum is 2 lakh. All our Goswamis, they would chant 2 lakh. That is the minimum. Otherwise, don't take Babaji Bhej. So he would chant at least 2 lakh every day, 128 rounds. And for the rest of the day, he would be chanting the different songs from Prem Bhakti Chandrika and Prarthana written by Srila Narottam Das Thakur. Therefore, Radha Krishnam Aharnishau Prabhajatau. Aharnisha, day and night, Radha Krishna bhajan going on. And favorite bhajan of Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj, which was his self-composed bhajan, was Kothai go Premamayi Radhe Radhe. Oh Srimati Radharani, you are the personification of divine love. Premamayi, Kothai go, where have you gone? Vipralambha Rasambode Padam Bujhayatinam. Always in Vipralambha. Radharani, where are you? Where are you? In the mood of Srila Raghunath Das Goswami, where are you? Where are you? In the mood of the 6 Goswamis. He Radhe Vraja Devi ke chalalite, He Nanda Suno Kuta, Shri Govardhana Kalpapada Patale, Kalindi Vane Kuta, Ghoshantaviti Sarvato Vrajapure, Khedar Mahavivalau, Vande Rupa Sanatanau Raghuyugau, Shri Jiva Gopalakau. Hey Radhe, Hey Radharani, where are you? Vraja Devi ke. You are the queen of Vrindavan. You are the Adhishtatri Devi of Shri Vrindavan Dham. Hey Lalite, Hey Lalita Sakhi, where are you? Always in separation, always vival, always overwhelmed. Khed, always sorrowful that I am in separation from my dear Lalita Vishakha Radha Gopinath. Where are you? Where are you? Always crying for them. This is the Vipralambha Bhav. This is the mood of separation. Day and night he would cry out, Radha Govinda, Kothai go Premamai Radhe Radhe. He would do Radha Nam Kirtan. Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj would do Radha Nam Kirtan day and night. In this way, he lived for 30 years. 30 years of intense bhajan in Shri Vrindavan Dham. Such a Mahabhagvat, pure devotee. But see his humility. After spending 30 years in Shri Dham Vrindavan, chanting 2 lakh, day and night singing the beautiful bhajans composed by Srila Narottam Das Thakur in Prema Bhakti Chandrika and Prarthana books, and singing his favorite bhajan, Kothai Go Prema Mai Radhe Radhe, living at holy places like Radha Kund, Sham Kund, Yamuna, Govardhan. 30 years living like this, like a Bhajananandi Mahabhagavad Paramhamsa. Look at the Dayanya Bhav, look at the humility of Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj. After 30 years of bhajan in Vrindavan, Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj raised his hands and said, I have made no spiritual progress. I have still not gotten Krishna. Nothing will happen to me in Vrindavan Dham. I need the Audarya Dham. Vrindavan Dham is Madhurya Dham. But nothing is happening. I need the Audarya Dham. I need the mercy of the most merciful Gauranga Mahaprabhu. Saying this, Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj left Vrindavan and went to Sri Dham Navadvip. At that time, coincidentally, well, actually nothing is coincidental, everything is Krishna Leela, Gaura Leela. By the influence of the Leela Shakti of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, it was the year 1893. And Srila Sachidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur Mahashaya was inaugurating the rediscovery of the birthplace of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He was having a big festival in 1893. He had rediscovered the birthplace of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Yoga Pit. And he wanted to build a small temple there and establish it as the holiest of all holy places for Gaudiya Vaishnavas. And Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur had brought Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj. Therefore we say, Gaura Avirbhava Bhumestvam Nirdeshta Sajjana Priya Vaishnava Sarva Bhauma Shri Jagannathayate Namaha. This is the pranam mantra of Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj. Gaura Avirbhava Bhumi, the birthplace of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Avirbhava means advent. Bhumi means the place. And Gaura means Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Gauravirbhava Bhumestvam Nirdeshta Sajjana Priya. This Sajjana Priya, this very dear to all the devotees, Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj, he showed, identified, confirmed the birthplace of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he is Vaishnava Sarvabhauma. He is the leader of all the Vaishnavas. Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj was in Navadvip that time, where Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur had brought him to confirm the birthplace of Mahaprabhu. And that is when Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj from Vrindavan came to Navadvip. And he found out that this Thakur Mahashaya Bhaktivinoda Thakur has rediscovered the birthplace of Mahaprabhu. And Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj is also there. So Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj is also there. So Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj, he went and he surrendered at the feet of his Param Gurudev, Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj. Because remember, Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj's disciple is Bhagavad Das Babaji Maharaj, who was the Diksha Guru of Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj. So when Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj saw his Param Gurudev, Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj, he surrendered at his feet and asked one question: how may I serve you, Param Gurudev? How may I serve you? At that time, Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj gave his instruction to Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj. He said, you should live for the rest of your life in Sri Dham Navadvip. It is not different from Vrindavan. This is also Madhurya Dham, but this is Audarya Madhurya Dham. Vrindavan Dham is Madhurya Dham. It is our Prayojan Dham. It is the place of our highest meditation. But Sri Dham Navadvip is not different from Vrindavan Dham. In fact, it is one of the Dham Apradhs to see difference between Navadvip and Vrindavan. They are non-different. So he said, you stay here in Navadvip Dham and you do your bhajan. Live on the banks of Ganga. Specifically live in Godrum Dvip and do your Nam bhajan. Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj took it as an instruction for the rest of his life. And for the rest of his life, my dear friends, Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj never ever left Sri Dham Mayapur, Sri Dham Navadvip. He never left. He stayed there and did his bhajan. And he would hear Hari Katha in the evening at Swananda Kunj in Godrum Dvip, the house of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur Mahashaya. He would hear Hari Katha from him. and he would discuss topics of Krishna consciousness with Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Seeing the mood of Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj, that he roams on the banks of Ganga chanting Gaura, Gaura, Nitai, singing the different bhajans of Srila Narottam Das Thakur, absorbed in Krishna Prem. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur had highest respect for Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj. So he told his son, Bimala Prasad, that, my dear child, I have already initiated you. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur had already initiated his son, Bimala Prasad, who later on became Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur was the Diksha Guru and Shiksha Guru of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur had given the Hare Krishna Mahamantra to Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. He had given him Narsimha Mantra, very confidential Narsimha Mantra. This Narsimha Mantra was given to Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur directly by Lord Narsimhadev. Lord Narsimhadev appeared to Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur and gave him a confidential Narsimha Mantra. And he told Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur that this mantra will protect the Krishna Consciousness Society. This mantra will protect the Nam Sankirtan movement. So Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur received Narsimha Mantra from Lord Narsimhadev directly, and he gave that Narsimha Mantra to his son, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And he gave a deity of Kurmadev to his son, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So from Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur received Harinam Diksha, Narsimha Mantra Diksha, and his worshipable deity of Lord Kurmadev. And now he told Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur that for further Diksha, you must have another Diksha Guru who can give you Diksha into Radha Krishna Seva. And that you must take from Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj. So Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he approached Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj one day as he was leaving the Bhagavatam class of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur would sit in his veranda and he would lecture on Srimad Bhagavatam every day. And Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj would come and listen sometimes to Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. He wouldn't come every day. Sometimes he would come because he was Avdut. Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj was Avdut. He was unpredictable. Nobody would know where he is. Sometimes from the forest he would emerge and come and sit in the courtyard and listen from Thakur Mahashaya. And he would say, he would point towards Bhaktivinoda Thakur and say, he is Gaura Priyajan. He is very dear to Gauranga Mahaprabhu. That's why I come to hear from him. So he would hear. One day, as Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj was leaving, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur followed behind. He offered his obeisances to Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj and requested Babaji Maharaj, Maharaj, I am a very fallen person. You are my only hope. Please accept me as your disciple. Please initiate me. Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj looked at Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur and very gravely said that, my dear child, you are a very learned Pandit. I am illiterate. I cannot even read and write Bengali. You are a scholar of Bengali, Sanskrit, English. You are so learned, so highly educated. You are a genius in mathematics, astrology. What will you learn from me? We are supposed to learn from our Guru. How can I become your Guru? So I cannot become your Guru. Please forgive me. Saying this, Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj went away. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur was heartbroken because in his heart, he had accepted Srila Babaji Maharaj as his Diksha Guru. And his father, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, had also instructed him that you must take Diksha from him only and nobody else. So Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur was very heartbroken. He didn't know what to do. He said, I will not give up. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur took shelter of the example of Srila Ramanujacharya. Sripad Ramanujacharya had approached Goshtipurna, it is said 18 times for Diksha, and he was turned away. Every Ekadashi he would go. After 18 Ekadashis, finally he got the mantra from his Guru. So Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur took some hope from the example of Sripad Ramanujacharya. He said, I will not give up, I will go again. So second time, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he approached Srila Babaji Maharaj and requested him, fell at his lotus feet and begged him, please, please, I cannot live. Please accept me as your disciple. Please initiate me, give me Diksha. I am your servant. When he said, I cannot live, if you don't initiate me, I will not be able to live. Then Srila Gaur Kishore Babaji Maharaj said, all right, let me ask Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu if it is okay to initiate you. Because you see, my dear child, Bimala Prasad, I don't have any disciples. And as a Babaji, I have decided not to accept any disciples. So therefore, let me ask permission from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur had full faith in his Gurudev. He said, as you say, Gurudev, I will wait. Many days passed by. Srila Gaur Kishoredas Babaji Maharaj, there was no trace of him. Finally, one day again he came for the Bhagavatam class of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. As he was leaving, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur with so much eagerness, he approached. He fell down, offering his Dandavat Pranam on the path on which Srila Gaur Kishoredas Babaji Maharaj was walking. He said, Babaji Maharaj, please accept me as your disciple. Did you ask Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu if it is okay to initiate me? Srila Gaur Kishoredas Babaji Maharaj replied, oh, I forgot. I met Sriman Mahaprabhu, but I forgot to ask him about you. Okay, next time I meet him, I will ask him. Now go. Srila Gaur Kishoredas Babaji Maharaj did not initiate Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Again, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, at the next opportunity, he again approached Babaji Maharaj, please initiate me. Did you ask Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Babaji Maharaj said that why should I ask him? You are so proud of your learning. You think you are a very big scholar. So why should I ask for you? Huh? Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur began to cry. He said, my dear Gurudev, I just want to become an insignificant particle of dust at your lotus feet. I don't consider myself to be a pandit or a learned person. My only parichaya, my only identification is that I am your servant. That's all. Please accept me. Srila Gaur Kishoredas Babaji Maharaj said, well, if that is so, then next time I meet Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, I will definitely ask him about you, whether it is all right to initiate you or not. Now you go. Again, a long time passed. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur would not give up. He had given his heart to Sri Guru. You see, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur was chanting 192 rounds every day. And yet he is not being accepted for initiation. And we feel that, oh, I am chanting 16 rounds for 2 years. Why this Guru is not initiating me? In your ISKCON, there is too much waiting time here. I have done disciple course. I have got a letter of recommendation. I am doing my 16 round. 2 years have passed by, not giving initiation. What is this? 192 rounds. Every day, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, 192 rounds. In Sridham Mayapur. Just see, Holy Dham, where the chanting is multiplied 1,000 times. Chanting one round in Sridham Navadvip is like chanting 1,000 rounds in Atlanta or Baltimore. Because it's a very holy place. It is Dham. There is the Dham Mahatma. There is the influence of the holy Dham. All right. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, I will not give up. He is a Paramhamsa. It is so rare to find a Paramhamsa in this world. Therefore, Manushyanam Sahasreshu Kaschid Adi Siddhaye Yadatam Api Siddhanam Kaschin Mam Vijitatvata. Such a Tattvadarshi Guru, such a Tattvadarshi Guru who knows Krishna, who understands Krishna is very rare. Therefore, I am very fortunate to have Srila Gaur Kishoredas Babaji Maharaj in my life. I will not go anywhere else. I will wait patiently. I will approach him again. Then next time Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur approached Srila Gaur Kishoredas Babaji Maharaj and asked, Babaji Maharaj, did you ask Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu if it is okay for you to accept me as your servant? Give me Diksha. Srila Gaur Kishoredas Babaji Maharaj. Now this conversation took place as Srila Gaur Kishoredas Babaji Maharaj was leaving the house of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur after hearing the Bhagavatam class, and there was Ganga and there was a narrow bridge on Ganga. So Srila Gaur Kishoradas Babaji Maharaj was going into the forest, crossing over the bridge. He was walking on the bridge and going into the forest. As he was crossing over the bridge, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur offered his Dandavat Pranam on the bridge, on the way, and asked Babaji Maharaj, did you ask Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu about me, if you can initiate me? Srila Gaur Kishoradas Babaji Maharaj told Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, my dear child, Bimala Prasad, yes, I asked Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You asked Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. What did Mahaprabhu say? What did Mahaprabhu say? Srila Gaur Kishoradas Babaji Maharaj, with a very grave voice, replied, Shriman Mahaprabhu, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told me not to initiate you. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ordered me not to initiate you. Therefore, I will not be able to initiate you. You please find some other guru. And Srila Gaur Kishoradas Babaji Maharaj started walking away. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur started crying profusely. Tears of lamentation. Ha Guru, what is the use of my life? What is the use of getting this human form of life if I cannot find a Sadguru? If Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and my Gurudev have rejected me, what is the use of continuing to live in this body? Srila Babaji Maharaj, if you will not accept me, then what is the point in continuing to live? Right now, I will jump off this bridge and end my life in Ganga. Saying this, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur was climbing over the bridge to jump into the flowing currents of Ganga. I will not continue to live. It is too painful. My life is useless without Guru. Krishna prema bina vyartha daridra jivana dasa ko he vetana mora deha prema dhana. Without Guru, we cannot get Krishna prem. And without Krishna prem bina vyartha daridra jivana. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita teaches us that Mahaprabhu is teaching us, Krishna prema bina vyartha daridra jivana. Our human life is vyartha, waste, and it is poverty stricken if we don't have Krishna prem dhan. That is the real wealth, not dollars, not rupees. Krishna prema bina vyartha daridra jivana dasa kohe vetana mora deha prema dhan. My dear Lord, for all my bhajan, if you want to give me some remuneration, some salary, some vetan, pagar, what do I want? Premadhan. Krishna prem is all I want. I don't want anything else. This is the only param purushartha for me. Krishna prema bina vyartha daridra jivana dasa kohe vetan mora deha prema dhana. Crying like this, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur was about to jump off the bridge into the Ganga. Suddenly, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur felt a tug on his shoulder. He turned around and it was his Guru Maharaj, Srila Gaur Kishoradas Babaji Maharaj. He tightly embraced him. He said, my dear child, I was only testing you. I was only testing you. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur fell at the lotus feet of Srila Gaur Kishoradas Babaji Maharaj. Srila Babaji Maharaj placed his lotus foot on the head of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. He picked him up and then took more dust from his feet and smeared the dust from his feet all over the body of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And he said, my dear child, I fully empower you today to spread the message of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu all over the world. All over the world you will spread the message of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. No one can stop you now. You are fully empowered. Go and preach. I have only two instructions for you. Two regulative principles. You see, Srila Prabhupada gave us 4 regulative principles. Now those regulative principles don't really apply to Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur because he's a pure devotee. Actually, there is a story when Srila Radha Govinda Goswami Maharaj was getting his Diksha from Srila Prabhupada in Sridham Vrindavan. when he was told to come and take his vows of initiation, of course, he had to take his vows in English because most of the audience were English. And Srila Radha Govinda Goswami Maharaj, he's from a small village in Bihar, and his mother tongue is Bhojpuri and Hindi. So he speaks Hindi. English is not his first language, but of course he understands English. He's educated, very, very well educated. So he can speak and understand English very well, but that is not his mother tongue. So he was told that you take the 4 regulative principles. You have to recite the 4 regulative principles. So Srila Radha Govinda Goswami Maharaj came before Srila Prabhupada, bowed down, offered his obeisances, said, I take a vow to chant at least 16 rounds of Hare Krishna Mahamantra every day, and I will follow the 4 regulative principles. No intoxication, no illicit sex, no meat eating. And then he could not remember the 4th one. He could not remember, he didn't know the English word. He knew the 4 regulative principles, but Srila Guru Maharaj did not know the English. So Srila Prabhupada said, gambling, jua nahi khelna, Srila Prabhupada said. So Srila Radha Govinda Goswami Maharaj said, Prabhupada, wo kya hota hai? He was so pure that he didn't know what is this gambling, what is this satta, what is this jua. He didn't know. So Prabhupada ji, wo kya hota hai? He was so pure because he was born in a very pious, very wonderful family. There used to be part of Bhagavatam, Ramcharitmanas in his house by his mother and father every day. There was Tulsi Vrindavan in the center of his courtyard. He used to read 1 canto of Srimad Bhagavatam every day. In 12 days, he would read the whole Srimad Bhagavatam throughout his childhood. He knew around 10,000 verses of Srimad Bhagavatam by heart, Kanthastha. And he's a scholar of Sanskrit. Such a pure person, he didn't know. So Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur did not need the 4 regulative principles because he was such a pure devotee. So Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj gave 2 regulative principles to Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj. Would you like to know what are the 2 regulative principles given by Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj to Srila Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada? The first one was, never go to Calcutta. Don't go to Calcutta because Kali lives there. Babaji Maharaj said, Kali lives there. Don't go to Kolkata. Second, don't accept any disciples. Don't accept any disciples. And Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he accepted both the regulative principles. And immediately after his Diksha, he went to Calcutta and he became a guru and accepted disciples. So years later, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur was telling that I only got 2 regulative principles from my Gurudev. Never go to Calcutta. And Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur was telling this in Calcutta. He was sitting in Calcutta and telling, my Guru Maharaj gave me only 2 instructions. Never go to Calcutta and never accept any disciples. And it was a room filled with disciples. So disciples were shocked. What? Prabhupada, can you please explain? What is the meaning of this? So Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, he explained that yes, I never came to Calcutta and I never accepted any disciples. I never come to Calcutta. I come to the Gaudiya Math. This is not Calcutta. This is Goloka Vrindavan. Every temple of Radha Krishna and Gauranga Mahaprabhu is Goloka Vrindavan. So I am coming to Goloka Vrindavan. I am not coming to Kolkata. And as far as all of you are concerned, I address all of you as Prabhu. You are not my disciples. I am your servant. Like Srila Pradyumna Prabhu was saying in the beginning, we are all servants. Dasosmi. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur would end all his letters as Dasosmi, Akinchan, Saraswati Thakur. He would call himself Akinchan Das. I have nothing. I have no possessions. And I am Dasosmi. He would always, whenever a disciple would meet and offer obeisances, Srila Saraswati Thakur would fold his hands and say, Dasosmi. I am your servant. And he would address all his disciples as Prabhu. You are my master. So Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur explained that yes, I don't have any disciples because all of you are my masters. You are my Prabhus. So I did not break the instructions. So in this way, Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj was such a Paramhamsa, Mahabhagwat. And there are many pastimes of Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj that teach us about his impeccable character. One time, one very rich Prabhu from Calcutta, he came and he said that, Babaji Maharaj, I have moved from Calcutta to Navadvip, and very close by, I have got my own ashram, I have got my own house. And my humble request is that you please come and for one day, you come and stay in my house, please, so that my house will become purified. Now, this devotee who came to meet Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj, he was a Pakka Vaishnava. He was a Vaishnava. He was a Nam Japak. He used to chant, and he was a devotee of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he had genuine faith in Babaji Maharaj. He wanted his association. So Babaji Maharaj said, I will come on one condition. I will come to bless your new house on one condition. So the devotee said, anything you say is okay. So Srila Gaur Kishore Babaji Maharaj said, you have built a new house in Navadvip? He said, yes, Babaji, new house. Yes, I have left my house in Calcutta. I have moved to Navadvip. Just constructed a new house. I want you to come and stay with me for one night at least. Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj said, yes, all right, I will come. But my condition is, when I come to your house to stay for one day and one night, I want to choose the room in which I live in your house. The devotee said, Babaji Maharaj, the whole house is yours. You can choose any room you want. You can choose any room you want. Yes, you can stay in any room of your choice. Please come. Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj came to his house and he says, where is your toilet? That is where I will stay. Because in the toilet, nobody will disturb me in my bhajan. Because I am a Vairagi, I am not supposed to stay in the house. But if I have to stay in your house, the only place I can stay is your toilet. So for one day and one night, so it is described, this host, this devotee, he immediately ran with a bucket and a cloth and he cleaned and mopped the whole toilet because he knew Babaji Maharaj is very serious. He's very serious. So he cleaned the whole toilet, and even against his desires, Babaji Maharaj went inside the toilet and stayed there. Not in the bedroom. He stayed in the toilet. That was his Sakshad Vairagya Murtaye. Sakshad Vairagya Murtaye. So there are so many stories like this. He was Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj. He was very much against pseudo gurus, people who would break the regulative principles but pretend to be Dhamvasis, pretend to be Babajis, pretend to be gurus. He could see with his siddhi, he could see through such duplicity, dupliciousness. He could see through, and he would expose them. He would expose them. There are many stories I have written, but we are really run out. We have only 4 minutes more. We have run out of time. There was one devotee. His name was Haren Babu. This Haren Babu used to take shiksha from Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj. He would take his shiksha from Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj. And one day there was a bhandara. You know what bhandara is? In the holy places, there are charitable people. They hold bhandara. They cook a lot of food, they offer it to Krishna, and they distribute prasad to all the sadhus. Anybody can come and free of cost eat. Now, most sadhus, they eat. But some very high-class sadhus, they don't eat. They don't eat from bhandaras because they don't know who is cooking in the bhandara. Because many times they get hired cooks, paid cooks. You pay them money and they'll cook. So you don't know what consciousness they are cooking in. And if you eat food that is not in proper consciousness, and sometimes the bhandaras have very opulent food. Now, what I'm going to say is very important. Please listen carefully, dear friends. Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj would say that Saras Bhojan, if the Bhojan is Saras, it's very tasty Bhojan, then Bhajan becomes Niras. Then there is no taste in Bhajan. And if Bhojan is Niras, if the food is bland and tasteless, then the Bhajan becomes Saras. So Bhojan Saras, Bhajan Niras. Bhojan Niras, Saras Bhajan. Bhajan becomes Saras. That was his motto. So he would not eat in this bhandaras because usually in the bhandaras there is rice, dal, sabji, some chutney, some papad, some sweet item. So he said no. But his follower, Haren Babu, some people came and insisted, hey, you come, take bhandara, it's all Krishna Prasad, it's dham, please take. So Haren Babu ate in that bhandara. And when he came every evening Gaur Kishore Babaji Maharaj would, answer some questions or give darshan. So when Haren Babu came, he had not told Babaji Maharaj anything, but Babaji Maharaj could see that he has eaten forbidden food. He said, "You have eaten in the Bhandara. Therefore, for 3 days, don't talk to me. Don't show me your face. Go away." Babaji Maharaj punished him by telling him to keep away for 3 months. As a punishment. There are, again, like I said, there are so many pastimes. I have 13 pastimes, but we'll go straight to his disappearance pastime because today is his disappearance day. On the last day of Kartik month, in the year 1915 AD, in the year 1915, on the last day of Kartik, which is Utthana Ekadashi, very auspicious tithi, the beginning of the Bhishma Panchak, which is the last 5 days, special day. So, when the Kartik, technically Kartik month is not over, but some devotees observe it from Ekadashi to Ekadashi. So in that way, because Chaturmath also begins on Shayana Ekadashi. So if you consider like that, then it was the last day of Ekadashi, because Utthana Ekadashi. On that day, Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj, in the holy land of Kulia. Kulia is a very holy place in Navadvip Dham. That is a place where Srila Haridas Thakur did his Nam Bhajan. Kulia. Kulia, for many years, Thakur Haridas, he lived there and chanted 3 lakh names every day. Did bhajan in Kulia, very holy place. So in Kulia, in Sridham Navadvip, our Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj, while chanting Radhe, 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 oh Radharani, where are you? I could never attain the lotus feet of Radha Govinda. Lamenting very deeply in separation, Vipralambha Rasam Bodhe. So we saw Sakshad Vairagya Murti, we saw. Now this is Vipralambha Rasam Bodhe. At the time of his death, Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj was lamenting loudly. And so many Babajis, sannyasis and dhamvasis surrounded him. And they were listening to his final instructions. Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj said, I have wasted my life. He never wasted a moment. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur said that if I would have seen my Gurudev, Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj, spend 23 hours, 59 minutes, 59 seconds in Krishna Bhajan and waste 1 second, I would not have accepted him as my Guru. But I observed him for such a long time and I never saw him waste 1 second. Oh, Vyartha Kalatvam. Never wasted 1 second. That's why, because he was 24/7. Radha Krishna Ahar Nisham Prabhajatau. Because he was always engaged in Radha Krishna Bhajan 24 hours a day, day and night. Therefore, I accepted him as my Guru. That Paramhamsa, Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj is lamenting, I did not do any bhajan. I wasted my life. In this life, I could not attain the lotus feet of Radha Govinda. Therefore, my only hope, I did bhajan in Vrindavan, nothing happened. I did bhajan in Navadvip, nothing happened. I wasted my life. Therefore, my last and final desire is after I die, drag this wretched body, which never did any bhajan, drag this dead body on the streets of Navadvip. Only if the holy dust of Sridham Navadvip, the dust in which Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sri Nityananda Prabhu, Sri Gadadhar Pandit, Advaita Srivas, and other Gaur Parshads have walked and danced. If the dust of this Sridham Navadvip is smeared all over my body as my body is dragged on the streets of Navadvip, then I have some hope that in my next life, I will be able to do bhajan and attain the lotus feet of Radha Govinda. So my dear friends and well-wishers, after I die, please drag this wretched body on the streets of Navadvip. So at least the dust of Navadvip will have some mercy on me. Feeling intense separation from Radha Govinda, chanting the names of Radha, 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 Kothai go Premamai, Radhe, Radhe, our Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj, he left this world. He left this world on the auspicious tithi of Utthana Ekadashi in the month of Kartik. When Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, who at that time was in Calcutta, got the news that Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj's health is not good, he immediately left his preaching duties and he came to Navadvip. He came to the place where Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj had just left his body. As he had left his body, So many Babajis were fighting over the dead body. Hare Krishna. Because for them it was a dead body. We should not use the word dead body for our acharyas. It is Shri Anga. But for them, it was a money-making scheme. Like Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur would say, these people, they use Shaligram Shila to break open Badam. Badam comes in a shell. Even walnuts, they come in a shell. And to eat them, we have to break the shell with a stone. So Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur would say in Bengali that these people, they are using Shaligram Shilas to break open Badam and eat Badam. What that means is, they will give darshan to the pilgrims and charge money. Okay, we are showing you the deities that were worshipped by such and such acharya. Here is the darshan. Now give some dakshina. Or in my ashram, there is a samadhi mandir of this great Babaji. I will give you darshan. You can sit and chant Harinam also there. But you have to give money. You have to give donation. Paisa, paisa, paisa. One time in one place in Navadvip, in one house, one Grahastha, Vaishnav, had arranged Bhagavad Katha. But when the Kathakar came and he spoke Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavatam for 7 days, Bhagavad Saptaha, he accepted Dakshina. When Srila Gaur Kishodas Babaji Maharaj was asked to come and speak Bhagavatam there, Srila Gaur Kishodas Babaji Maharaj said, I will speak Bhagavatam. But first go and wash the entire house with cow dung and cow urine. The host said, Babaji, our house is very pure. We have got Shaligram Shila there in the house we worship. And just now, Bhagavad Saptaha took place in our house. A Kathakar came. He gave lecture on Srimad Bhagavatam for 7 days. So many devotees sat and heard. Our house is very pure. Why are you asking us to wash the whole house with cow dung and cow urine? Srila Gaur Kishodas Babaji Maharaj in his thundering voice replied, because it was not Bhagavatam, Bhagavatam, Bhagavatam in your house. It was paisa, paisa, paisa. These were the exact words of Srila Gaur Kishodas. Paisa, paisa, paisa. Rupaya, rupaya, rupaya. Because the Kathakar accepted money. He came and did Bhagavad Katha for the sake of money. Therefore, that Bhagavad Katha is not pure Katha. It is not Shabda Brahman. Go and clean your house with cow dung and cow urine, then I will come. So this extremely pure Srila Gaur Kishodas Babaji Maharaj, if his Samadhi Mandir is in your mutt, you have a high chance of many pilgrims coming in the years to come. And to take darshan, they will give dakshina, dakshina, dakshina. They will give money. So all these Babajis and sannyasis are fighting. We want to have the Samadhi Mandir of Babaji Maharaj in our ashram, in our mutt. And from there, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur came. And Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur was wrapped in a green chadar. Green chadar. Sannyasis are supposed to wear saffron. Well, at that time, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur was just a brahmachari. He was not a sannyasi. He was just a brahmachari. And here are Babajis and sannyasis fighting over who is going to have the Samadhi Mandir of Srila Gaur Kishodas Babaji Maharaj in their mutt. And from there comes Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur as a brahmachari, wrapped in a green chadar. He was asked, why are you wearing a green chadar? Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, the color green is a sign of Vipralambha, sign of separation. And today I am feeling separation from my master, my Guru Pada Padma. So he came, and there was a big debate and argument and fighting going on. And Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, I am the only disciple of Srila Gaur Kishodas Babaji Maharaj. Therefore, I am the only claimant to his legacy. And I will have his Samadhi Mandir built very nicely in my ashram, in my mutt. But people did not accept. They said, no, you are just a brahmachari. How can a brahmachari touch the body of Babaji? We are Babajis. We know how to do the last rites. We will take care of the Samadhi Mandir. Sannyasis said, we are sannyasis. You are just a brahmachari. You don't touch. We will take care of it. Hearing all these arguments, the local police inspector came there. And he said, let us try to resolve this dispute. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, it is very easy to resolve this dispute. Everyone accepts that Srila Gaur Kishoredas Babaji Maharaj was a Paramhamsa Mahabhagwat. Everyone said, yes, of course, yes, we accept. Yes, he is pure. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, all right. If you accept that Srila Gaur Kishoredas Babaji Maharaj was a pure Paramhamsa Mahabhagwat, then only someone who is pure should touch his holy body. So I declare, in the last 1 year, that person, that Babaji or that sannyasi who has not entertained the thoughts of sex enjoyment, thoughts of the opposite sex for the last 1 year, or has not indulged in illicit sex, can come forward and touch. If your mind and body is pure for 1 year, come and touch the holy remains of my master. Everyone stepped back. No one came forward. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, 6 months. How about 6 months? Any of you who has not entertained thoughts of sense gratification, illicit sense gratification for the last 6 months, you are free to come and touch. The inspector asked, but Saraswati Thakur, how will you know that they are speaking the truth? Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, I will take your word for it. Just say that you have not entertained thoughts of sense gratification for the last 6 months. Come forward and touch my Guru Maharaj. But if you lie, my Guru Maharaj is so pure and so powerful, Mahaprabhu will come and destroy you if you lie. Everyone stepped back. Srila Saraswati Thakur said, 3 months. 1 month. Anyone who has not entertained the thought of sense gratification in 1 month, come and touch. Nobody came. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur went ahead, covered his Guru Maharaj with a chadar and picked up the holy remains of Srila Gaur Kishoredas Babaji Maharaj and took him to his mutt and established a beautiful Samadhi Mandir on the banks of Ganga. This was the love of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur for such a pure Paramhamsa Mahabhagwat as Srila Gaur Kishoredas Babaji Maharaj. Our parampara is going on by the Kripa Drishti, by the merciful glance of these acharyas, my dear friends. Therefore, it is very important that on their tithis, their appearance, disappearance days, we should speak about them, meditate upon their glorious example, and pray to them for purification and empowerment. Jagat Guru, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Gaur Kishoredas Babaji Maharaj ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanandi. Hari Hari Bol. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. I will stop here. If anyone has any questions, you can unmute.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Sorry, probably you have to unmute yourself just once.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. It's a very nice pass, Gaur Kishoredas Babaji Maharaj, you have explained. I remember in Prem Bhakti Chandrika, you mentioned, people used to go to the Gaur Kishoredas Babaji Maharaj and ask for Krishna Bhakti. And Gaur Kishoredas Babaji Maharaj used to say, go and get the Prem Bhakti Chandrika book and in 2 paisa. Get the book in 2 paisa and I will give you Krishna Bhakti. Because the Prem Bhakti Chandrika has all Guru prayers we are doing from there. Srila Prabhupada introduced in our ISKCON temple, Guru Padma, we are every morning, Guru Puja time, we are singing those 4 verses. They are from Prem Bhakti Chandrika. And Prabhupada ji has introduced us. So we have to study that Prem Bhakti Chandrika book and be a Krishna conscious, more. Yeah. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, dear Pradyumna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you. So I think Parima Mataji, you can unmute.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for this wonderful nectarian class, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, I had this question somehow. Isn't it customary for to give dakshina to people who actually give Harikatha, do Harikatha? Because I've seen so many people do that, giving dakshinas. I don't know if it is really actually our tradition or our ancient Vedic custom, or is it something that is made up in the later ages?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Srila Shukadeva Goswami, the original speaker of Srimad Bhagavatam, did not accept any dakshina. He was a kinchan. Nor did Suta Goswami accept. Nor did Srila Prabhupada accept any dakshina ever for any Harikatha. Nor did Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur charge any dakshina for any Harikatha. But if devotees are giving some Lakshmi and we can use that Lakshmi in the service of Krishna, then it is okay to accept.
Mhm.
But if we accept it for our own maintenance, then we are using Shaligram Shila to break open badam and eat badams. We are
Yes.
using Harikatha for our maintenance. That we should never do. Whatever money comes, if devotees give, we can either donate it to the temple or give it back to Krishna. Use it in Krishna's service, or donate it to for Dham Seva, or there are so many projects. We can donate it, but we should not keep it for our. We should never ask for it. First of all, we should never travel around speaking Harikatha expecting that by speaking Harikatha I will get dakshina. That is very sinful, and unfortunately, it is becoming common. Hare
Yes.
Krishna. Please forgive me for this.
Yes, I know. That is why I asked this question, Prabhuji.
I don't hear Harikatha from such devotees, Mataji. We should never open our ears and our hearts to hearing Harikatha from such devotees. Are there less lectures of Srila Prabhupada? Are there less lectures of Srila Radha Govind Maharaj, Srila Gaur Govind Maharaj and our Guru Varga? There are so many lectures to hear from pure devotees. That's why I always emphasize, Mataji, we should hear from pure devotees. If anyone is speaking Harikatha or traveling, thinking and calculating that by this I will get money, then I will maintain, I will get more dakshina here, so I will speak here. This is absolutely against the parampara. This is absolutely against the philosophy of Krishna consciousness. Then we are falling in the category of what Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur says, using Shaligram Shila to break open badam and eating badam. So we should not hear from such speakers. We should not promote such speakers. And I say we should not even invite such speakers who expect Lakshmi, who expect money, monetary donations for coming and speaking Harikatha. Because none of our acharyas have done that, and it is just wrong. We should
Because
not do that.
some speakers, they say that, oh, we have this trust, and from this trust we are, building a school, we are building a Gurukula. So it would be great if you could donate to the trust. So I don't know if that trust is for themselves or they are actually using it. This kind of things are actually going on too much, actually.
So
I've
there may,
come across it.
yeah, so there may be projects and there may be bona fide projects where the money is being used for Krishna, but to speak Harikatha with the intention of raising funds for
Okay.
oneself, for one's own maintenance, that with
Okay.
this, I can buy clothes, or I can buy food, or I can travel here, I can do this, I can save this money for my old age. If we are using money from Dakshina, from Harikatha for our personal maintenance, that is not good. Now, as far as projects are concerned, if those are bona fide projects and the money is actually being used in Krishna's service and we are sure of that, then there is no problem. That is charity. That is dan. And dan we must do. Now, the question is, sometimes it is said that, well, our movement is dadati pratigrinati, giving gifts and accepting gifts. So therefore, there must be reciprocation. If I am coming and I am speaking Harikatha, you must reciprocate with me. So what is that reciprocation? That reciprocation is to sit attentively and hear.
Yes.
That is the reciprocation. And to receive the pure message of Bhagavatam in our life, that we hear and apply it in our life. That is the reciprocation. Not reciprocation that you come speak Harikatha and I will give you $51 or I will give you $108. I have even experienced one devotee complaining to me, why you are giving me only this much? Everyone is giving 108. You cannot even give 108? They told me like that on my face. For one lecture. For one lecture. And not only that, went and complained to the authorities also. That I did a home program and I was not given adequate dakshina. So this is this is not pure Harikatha. This is not pure Harikatha. And I had not even invited that devotee. Self-invited. I'm in town, I want to speak Bhagavatam, can I come? So, okay, sure, come speak Harikatha, and then expecting, and then, so yeah, this is absolutely wrong, Mataji. And this is what Srila Prabhupada means when he says we have to boil the milk. These nonsense, this is what Saraswati Thakur's Pranam Mantra says. Rupanuga Viruddhapa Siddhanta Dvanta Harini. This is Rupa Goswami Siddhanta against the Siddhanta of Srila Rupa Goswami. These things. Srila Raghunath Bhatta Goswami is the Acharya for speaking Srimad Bhagavatam in our Sampradaya. When he would speak Srimad Bhagavatam, even his Shiksha Gurus, Rupa and Sanatan Goswami, would sit and hear in Radha Damodar Mandir. All the 5 Goswamis would sit and hear from Srila Raghunath Bhatta Goswami. He was a junior Goswami. But they would hear. Why? Because he was pure. Because he was a Guru Sevak. He had served Mahaprabhu. He would cook for Mahaprabhu in Jagannath Puri for 10 months. He was very humble and he was empowered by Mahaprabhu. That was Guru Pradatta Seva. His Guru Maharaj had given him that service, speak Srimad Bhagavatam. And Srila Raghunath Bhatta Goswami would speak Srimad Bhagavatam without expecting anything. The characteristics of Srila Raghunath Bhatta Goswami are mentioned in the Antya Leela of Chaitanya Charitamrita. He would never hear Vaishnava Ninda. He would not hear criticism of any devotee, even if the devotee had faults. And he would only speak Srimad Bhagavatam. And when he would speak, tears of love would flow from his eyes. So we have to hear Srimad Bhagavatam from pure, selfless souls, pure, selfless devotees. They may be new devotees, but if they are Guru Sevaks and they are doing it without expecting anything in return, without expectation of Kanaka, Kamini, Kirti, these 3 things are sinful. Gold, Kanaka, Kamini means to attract opposite sex, to wear nice clothes and nice this and singing nice with big harmonium and a melodious voice and nice katha, trying to attract people. That is Kamini. Kanaka, Kamini and Kirti, and doing it for popularity. How many people are joined? Oh, is this live streaming? How many people on Facebook? How many on YouTube? That popularity, that is Kirti. So Kanaka, Kamini, Kirti, these are 3 enemies. These 3 Ks kill Harikatha, pure Harikatha. Avaishnava mukadgiranam putam harikathamritam shravanam naiva kartamyam sarpochishtam yathapaya. We should not hear Harikatha from such people. Padma Puran says. Is that okay, Parima Mataji?
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Thank you for your wonderful explanation. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Tasosmi.